And welcome to this episode of Bunt Pod Picks, where we will predict the NFL picks against the spread for week 4. Recently, we have finished up week 3. You are listening to your reigning champion of the week, as I went 11-5 on the week. Correct, Wes?
That is correct.
I went 11-5 on the week. I was pretty proud of that. I really needed it because I had started off poorly. Was I 12-20 to start?
It was it was bad. Yeah, we told everyone to pick against Jake, and then Jake went 11-5.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Great advice there, Wes. Great advice. But yeah, so currently our record, which I believe Mac did tweet it out. James and Wes are atop our show leaderboard at 24-24. They're right at 500. I'm 23-25. Mitch and Mac are both 21-27, while Toby rounds out the bottom of the show at 19-29. Now, however, myself and Wes are the only ones able to be here today. Everyone else had some prior commitments. Usually we also like to record the show on Sunday. Just things have been busy these days with Mitch and I both being in school. James is on vacation. Wes
was available.
Wes was available. But Mac apparently is out whining and dining or something. So doing wine and paint, as he said, something like that.
Yeah, he's doing some painting and some wine and or something. So we'll see. Yeah.
Fun stuff. So just the two of us today. And we're going to go ahead and make our predictions, and then the other guys will fill theirs in tonight or tomorrow before the games start up. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoy your show. Please be sure to like the video, share it with your friends. It's a fun competition. Luckily, we haven't had to give away any money this week, which was good. But we have awarded prize week 1 so far, 2 and 3. One of our hosts did take the lead. But again, if you beat us all out at the end of the year, you will win our $100 grand prize, which currently we do have Roy Steyer is beating us
with a commanding lead.
Yeah, he's got
28-20.
28-20. He's 4 games ahead of our top host. So he's in line for a $100 grand prize as of right now, but you can still catch him. And then just submit your picks by either commenting on the YouTube video or on one of our tweets or anywhere on social media. And we'll be sure to get your score in with ours as well. Let's see. Were there any other listeners? We had quite a bit of participation. Looks like we had them all from Twitter, no YouTube comments last week. So we had 5 participants last week. I expected better. Our first couple weeks did better. All right. So that being said, Wes, week 4, our first game on the docket.
You want to get into week 3 or week 4 first?
We'll get into week 4 right away.
Week 4 first. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So week 4, Cincinnati is hosting Jacksonville. Who do you got? The spread, Cincinnati's favored to win by 7.5.
This is our Thursday night game.
Correct. Usually pretty uninteresting games.
This is true. On a short week, got a rookie quarterback too.
Yeah,
I'm going to take Cincy. I'm going to take the Bengals. Give me the Bengals.
Jacksonville put up more of a fight than I expected against Arizona. I did say last week on our show that there were some people who were picking Jacksonville to cover the spread. Without that kick return for the field goal kick return for a touchdown, it was not going to be close.
Yeah,
that team just they look so bad. They're going to get.
They had some terrible play. That flea flicker pick 6 was just one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I saw. Well, we'll talk about it in the main show. I'll save my comments. I think Cincinnati, with the way they played against Pittsburgh, which another story of someone who looks bad. They look like a pretty good team. I mean, I think they're a league average team right now. And I like that being at home. They're really only getting like a 4.5 point favorite. You can get the 3 points at home. Mm-hmm. So I think they cover this spread. I'm going to go with you on this, Wes. We're both going to take the Bengals.
I think the Jaguars will put up a bigger fight this time. Maybe put up some more points, but I think Bengals still take it. Maybe a 10-point win.
All right. Detroit at Chicago. Detroit +3. Who do you got? I'm taking Detroit in this one. Detroit really hung with Baltimore, who we think is one of the best teams in the league. Although they have looked wildly inconsistent these first 3 weeks. Like, I don't know. They look good yet bad somehow. They're 1-2 after losing 2-1 after beating the Chiefs, losing to the Raiders, and beating the Lions. Is the Ravens. I don't know why I'm talking about the Ravens. I apologize. But Detroit has been in every game, even if it was being down by 27 points coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Detroit in this game. I think they're a sneaky chance to win. The offense run under Justin Fields. Now, I know he's playing the Browns, who are one of the best teams in football, in my opinion. and they had given up 9 sacks.
Yeah,
Doesn't feel the sack.
that is rough. That is rough.
They had almost every one of their pass protection, only 5 men in pass protection for your rookie quarterback. What an
over
awful
20 passing plays. He had 5 protectors for a rookie quarterback.
I mean, you're not getting him any time. That's one of the worst. And I know people have been going on about this. You're not hearing anything new here, but that is one of the worst game plans I think you could possibly have for a rookie QB.
Matt Nagy is on the hot seat.
I personally would have fired him Monday.
Yeah,
that's what I would have done, and that's why I don't run in teams, because I'm very
even the guys on Houston Sports Radio were saying Nagy is like you said that was one of the worst offensive play call. Like Nagy has the worst offense in the league. So
gives you a whole new respect for Mitch Trubisky and what he was able to do.
Exactly. People are going, man, I feel for Trubisky now.
Yeah.
Short of that stick.
That was really, really bad. And you see how other teams, they try to protect it. Now, I think that out of all the rookie quarterbacks out there right now, the Niners and Patriots are handling the situation the best. I have not liked here I am going on a tangent again. We'll get to rookie quarterbacks in the main show. We'll talk about it later. Who do you have, Lions or Detroit? Or I'm sorry, Lions or Chicago?
Chicago did play the Browns.
It's true.
So with a stellar defensive line. So I don't think the Lions are going to be able to get to them as much. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes. They haven't so far, so I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay.
And
hope
that Fields pulls out a close one, but wins by 4.
I doubt it. I think that the only place that the Bears are better is receiver and defense. I think everywhere else.
I mean,
better.
However you feel about Justin Fields, I mean, would you rather have him or Jared Goff?
This year, in one game, I'd rather have Jared Goff. Overall, yeah, I'd rather have Fields. But for this one game, Jared Goff has not looked like a bad quarterback, and he's got no weapons to pass to.
How about running back?
I prefer DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams over
I'd rather have Montgomery.
Well, hit me up on fantasy.
To each his own.
Okay. Tennessee at New York Jets. Tennessee's favored by 7.5. The Jets have looked so bad.
Oh,
so bad.
So bad.
I know Zach Wilson's not awful, but that team is just bad. And I think Tennessee runs away with this. I take Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough. I mean, I know it's at home in New York, but the Jets have just looked terrible. I mean, poor Zach Wilson. I'm gonna take Titans as well.
The Titans defense has been suspect. And if the Jets were able to keep this close, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like an 11-point game and the Jets get a touchdown late to make it a 4-point game or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Titans handily cover this game or win this game. Whether it's an 8-point win or 7, I don't know. But I think I'm going to pick them to cover this.
The old backdoor cover.
Yeah. All right. So you have Titans as well?
Yes, I have the Titans as well.
Indianapolis at Miami. Miami's favored by 1.5, still without Tua. I don't like that line.
I don't like it either.
Now, Jacoby Brissett played really well.
Kind of.
For what was asked of him. He played well.
Kind of, yeah. Is Wentz going to play this week? Do we know? See, this is a tough thing to pick because if Wentz doesn't pick, I'm obviously picking Miami.
Yeah.
If Tua plays, I'm definitely picking Miami.
If Tua's not playing. He's out 3 weeks.
Okay.
Well, in the IR.
Well, what? I wish I could just not even touch this. But
yeah, I mean, in reality, I'm not betting this game at all until I hear about a quarterback. But as we are doing this on Tuesday night after the lines were just released, oh gosh, I don't know. I think the Colts win the game. I suppose. I think they have the better all-around team.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick. I mean, I think both coaches. I heard this thing today where if you go by whoever better coach, better quarterback gives you a 4-point favorite. So I think both coaches are pretty evenly matched. I would take, even as bad as Wentz has played, I'd still take Wentz over Brissett. So I think I'm going to go Colts.
We're of like mind today. Yeah. Carolina at Dallas. Dallas finally showing up. That was a great game they put on last night.
Complete game, offensively and defensively.
Especially after what we've seen Philadelphia doing the last 2 weeks. So I was impressed.
Yeah, no, they
really screwed me over in a couple of leagues. I had one league where I was down 4 and I had Dak and he had Zeke. I was like, Dak should outscore Zeke by 4. He has every week so far. Nope. And then another league I was winning by 17 and he just had Zeke and I lost both of them, of course, because Zeke had a great week. Dallas is looking pretty solid and they're home. They're favored by 5. What are you taking? I imagine you're taking Dallas.
Well, for a few different reasons. I am taking Dallas, but Carolina. I watched all the Carolina game versus the Texans. The defense is legit. Now I know they haven't played a lot of great teams, but Carolina's defense is legit. The thing that scares me though is Darnold. Darnold had 2 fumbles in the Texan game that he fumbled and they fell on it. So that game could have been a whole lot closer than 24-9.
Yeah, but to me,
and without Christian McCaffrey, I think Dallas may win this by at least a touchdown. At least.
It's a tough game to predict. I mean, the Panthers are 3-0, and against any team, going 3-0 is hard in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I want to give them their props for that. Going 3-0 is impressive.
100%.
But it is in Dallas, so I think that gives a big boost, especially coming off a win. I think they're going to be riding high. I don't trust Mike McCarthy at all.
Neither do I.
This is tough.
He's got one job with time management, and he doesn't do it well.
Here's the thing. If they have CMC, I'm probably picking Carolina to win. And I don't know that he's worth 7-8 points alone. So I'm going to I don't like doing it, but I'm going to take the Panthers.
Okay.
I don't like it.
No, their defense is legit. Now, their offense, like whenever McCaffrey went out of the game, their offense was completely different. They scored 1 touchdown in the second half because they couldn't move the ball because the Texans gave it up. So,
and Darnold is playing pretty well. I mean, he's playing so much better than he ever did with the Jets. That's for sure.
Yes, and he threw the ball well. Now he's very careless with the ball in the pocket, which is what I saw. And he had 2 fumbles and they fell on it and they got it back. But it could have been 14 points on the board for the Texans if they would have got the ball.
Sure.
Or maybe at least 6. But anyways, all right, next game.
Moving onward. New York Giants at New Orleans. New Orleans put a whooping, a sloppy whooping, to be fair, on the New England Patriots last week, while the Giants did lose, right?
They did. It was
0-3.
Ugly game for the Giants.
Giants look so bad.
And they lost to the Falcons, too.
Do they draft a new quarterback next year?
It's looking that way. Daniel Jones is on a short leash. He might get the Mitch Trubisky treatment.
Just career backup. See, I don't know. I feel like the guy has the ability to be better than a backup quarterback. I think he's kind of in the same boat maybe that Darnold was in.
Yeah,
he's a bad decision maker. He really is.
He really is. And, this was the season where it's like, okay, you brought in Golladay, you brought in some weapons, you got Barkley back.
Oh, he has no excuse to suck.
Prove it. And he's,
I honestly think that coach, is it Joe Judge?
Joe Judge.
I think he's awful.
Yeah. I mean, it's I also think that Jason Garrett's his offensive coordinator, and he was fired from the Cowboys because he was not his play calling became very stale.
Yeah. I mean, why are you hiring a guy who could not win with the Cowboys offense to be your offensive coordinator? Poor decision making. For that reason alone, go Saints.
And on top of that, so you have Jason Garrett, poor decision maker, and then on top of that, you throw in Daniel Jones, who is a poor decision maker. Now, saying that, I think I'm going to pick the Giants in the points. I think the Saints win this game.
It is a large spread,
but the spread is what gets me, and I'll take the Giants with the points.
To me, here's why I choose New Orleans. Big part after the whole hurricane thing. You look back to Hurricane Katrina and what the Saints did and how they rallied around that football team when they came back. This reminds me a lot of it. Now, I know it wasn't as devastating, but they've been gone for 3 weeks now, and now they finally get to go back home. I don't see a way that they lose this game. I don't see a way they don't come out going nuts. I wouldn't be surprised if Kamara had like a 4-touchdown game or something.
Well, going nuts is kind of what scares them, because they don't want Jameis to go nuts. They want.
I don't think he has to. I think they can just dump it off to Kamara.
Well, that's what they want him to do. They want him to play that Alex Smith.
Did you see that lucky touchdown that he had against the Patriots last week?
No, I didn't.
He was being sacked, like falling down, and he just lofts it up in the air like he's shooting a fadeaway 3.
The old Johnny Manziel.
Oh, he was just so lucky that who was the receiver that caught it? I don't remember.
Callaway?
Yeah, it was Marquez Callaway. Caught it in the end zone. Just absolute luck. No skill whatsoever. And it should have been a pick 6 probably. But yeah, it was ridiculous. But yeah, I think the Saints win this game handily. I wouldn't be surprised if they went up by 10, 15 points. Next, Washington at Atlanta. A lot of gross games this week. Taylor Heineke versus Matt Ryan, who looks like a defeated shell of himself. Sorry, James, not here to defend
Ouch.
yourself,
Ooh.
so
I mean, they did get the W last week, but
that means nothing.
it was an ugly
Nothing.
W against the Giants.
Washington's favored by 1.5. I think they're the better team. I'm going to take Atlanta to cover this. I don't know.
See, Washington's supposed to live and die with their defense. And
Their
their
defense has
defense
been
is
bad.
killing them.
Yeah, it's been bad.
Very
I think-
bad.
I think at home Atlanta wins this game, so I think that's one of the easier ones for me. This might be one of my best bets.
I'm with you there. I mean, I don't think it's a sure thing, but I mean, the way Washington's played, it's concerning. So I think I'm going to take the Falcons as well.
And with all those offensive weapons they have, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, I mean, Curtis Samuel's still injured, but Logan Thomas and J.D. McKissick, you think Heineke would be able to find open guys? And I know Heineke, he's a backup quarterback to Ryan Fitzpatrick, so he's not like this all-star player. But I don't know. I feel like he should be able to hit people, but he just isn't. If he does, this is the week to do it because the Falcons defense is one of the worst.
And I was one of the ones who thought Heineke should have started over Fitzpatrick just because the way he played in the playoff game last year. But I mean, he's proven me wrong because I mean the way he's been playing. I mean, and don't get me wrong, he put up 28 points last week, but you know you can put up as many points as you want at the end of the day. If you go 0-8, you're not going to be starting very many games.
Nope, it's very true. Buffalo minus 16.5 to beat Houston in
gosh.
Buffalo.
This is one of the bigger spreads I've seen in a while.
That's a big spread.
It's pretty big.
Houston and good old Tyrod Taylor.
No,
he's injured.
Mills.
Davis Mills. Yes, Davis Mills. Davis Mills and Mark Ingram going to be running all over this Buffalo defense.
Philip Lindsay averaging a good old 2.1 yards a carry.
I mean, I don't even know how to take this. I mean, the spread is so large. But taking Houston sounds ridiculous.
I know. And Buffalo just put up 45 points against the Redskins, and Houston's half as good as them. So
you racist, you watch your mouth.
Oh yeah, the FT,
the football team,
the WFT.
What did Houston put up last week with Davis
24 to 9. Now Davis, in his defense, he actually played. You know, they were like the most conservative I've ever seen out of an offense. Like as many safe throws as possible. So he had 168 yards and a touchdown. No picks, no fumbles. But it was very, very conservative. That's why they only put up 9 points.
I probably would wait to bet this and see if the line goes down as the week goes along.
Yeah.
If the line were to drop to something like 14.5 or 15, I'd feel a lot better about it. Probably
it has been dropping a little bit because it was at some of the lines I've seen had them at 17.5.
Yeah.
So 16.5. So
I probably would wait it out.
Yeah.
But I could see this being one of those games where Josh Allen's trying to push for an MVP and just goes nuts. So I'm going to take the Bills.
It's just so many points.
It is a lot of points. I know the Texans have been surprisingly not awful. So,
but I think at home for the Bills, I think I'm gonna go with the Bills too, because I picked the Texans to cover for a few games now, and they have for the most part. But I didn't pick them to cover against the Panthers, and they didn't. But I think the Bills are on a different level than the Panthers, defensively and offensively. So I got to go with the Bills.
All right, moving on to our next game: Cleveland at Minnesota. Cleveland is road favorite, which I think is wise. And I think they win this game
by two.
Yeah, it's not by much. And I think they win this game. I think it is close. But I don't like predicting a win by 1 point. So I'm going to predict they cover. I wouldn't be surprised if this ended in like a last second field goal because, well, I think Cleveland's really good. They don't have a super high flying offense, and the Vikings have looked pretty good on offense. So
they have even without Cook.
Yeah, and without not knowing what Cook's going to do, I'm going to take Cleveland on this one. So I'm going to take the Browns.
I'm actually with you. I'm going to take the Browns as well.
Sheesh, Wes, stop copying me.
No, I mean, Kirk Cousins looked good last week, but the Browns, I think they're a little more complete and coming off a good win. With the defense was, of course, they were playing
It's ridiculous that the Browns can say, you know what, we're not going to really use Nick Chubb a lot today. We're just going to decide to use our second running back, and he goes and just pops off.
I mean, Chubb still had 85 yards rushing.
Yeah, but they just split the carries, and you can do that. They have two of the top 10 running backs in the league, in my opinion.
It wasn't just the carries too. They were getting to Hunt in the receiving game, and it was just clinic.
It is not fair.
Felt bad for Justin,
especially now Odell Beckham's back. But then when Odell comes back, of course, Landry's injured.
Yeah,
It'd be nice to have them both at the same time. All right, Kansas City at Philly. Philly plus 7.5. So
Wait.
they're expected to make it close. Kansas City has been not clutch. I mean, their offense is still scoring, but that game against the Chargers, I don't think any of us expected the Chargers to have some legendary defense, and they just looked legitimately bad. If I were to say watch that game on if I were to watch the first 3 games of the season so far and say they're the only 3 games I ever watched the football, I would come back and tell you Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Right? I mean, so far this year, that's just been a true statement. Yeah. And it's not like Allen has a better offense around him. I think that Mahomes has Kelsey, Hill, and a good running back in Hilaire, even though Hilaire's been fumbling the ball all over the place.
Yeah, he coughed it up. He coughed it up to the Ravens.
But the Chiefs have been gladly to me not great. I mean, they played some good teams, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's
Browns, Ravens, Chargers is a pretty tough start to your year for the Super Bowl or AFC Championship. Usually you get a little bit of the cupcake schedule coming back, but not so much.
Yeah, I think this is where they get back on schedule, or they get back on top, because I think they're a little ticked off because you know everyone's saying how bad they are. I think they come out and just beat the doors off the Eagles, and maybe Nick Sirianni gets fired after this game.
I mean, Philly too though started off looking pretty good, but this last game against the Bears was, Cowboys was awful game. They did so bad. So I think that you're right. I think that the Chiefs probably do beat them pretty handily. I'm not sure how they'll handle Jalen Hurts' running ability. But this is what happened with the Cowboys. The Cowboys got out ahead and they forced Jalen Hurts to have to pass in the pocket.
Here's the problem with that Cowboy and Eagles game that this should never, ever, ever happen, which is why I think Sirianni just.
Oh, I lost your mic, Wes. I cannot hear you. Say something now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yep. Okay. So I think that what put Nick Sirianni on the hot seat, Miles Sanders had 2 carries. Mm-hmm. They had 2 carries.
They abandoned the run very early.
Games. I mean, he had 27 yards on 2 carries. Like, he averaged 13. So that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Peyton Manning said it really well. He said when the Eagles started to fall behind, they abandoned their game plan of a balanced offense.
Ridiculous.
And they just went into pocket passing mode, which Jalen Hurts is not a pocket passer. You're forcing him to do something he's not good at.
And when you try to scramble, the linemen were just they were having to do it the whole game.
And I think that we're going to see a similar thing. I think the Chiefs are going to get out early, and the Eagles are going to have to abandon the run. And when the Eagles can play from ahead, it reminds me of the Ravens from a couple of years ago. They're great when they're from ahead, but it's hard for them to come back because you can't rely on that quick passing game.
Well, the Eagles don't have the defense of the Ravens.
No, they don't. I'm going to take.
Yes, they are better ahead.
The Chefs in this one.
Agreed.
All right. Seattle at San Francisco. This is one of my favorite games of the week. Seattle is we don't really know what they are. And San Francisco has played really well so far this year. However, not as dominant as I expected them. I thought them to be one of the best teams in the league, and they've been a little bit inconsistent. So I'm interested to see what these two teams are. San Francisco coming off a tough loss to the Packers, and at home, only a 2-point favorite. I love Russell Wilson, but that defense is rough, and I think that the 49ers are going to score pretty easily. I'm going to take San Francisco on this one.
I know that the Seahawks have not played well, and they only put up 17 points against the Vikings last week. Wilson actually played he didn't do enough, but he had 298 yards and a touchdown. But I'm going to take the Seahawks in a bounce back, and better quarterback, better. Well, I don't know who's a better coach at this stage, but I'd probably take Shanahan. But
I probably would too. Pete Carroll, I think, is past his prime.
Yeah, but I'm going to take the Seahawks in a bounce back. I like 2.5. I think they might win on a field goal. And I guess it doesn't matter if I choose the Seahawks. So anyways, I'm going to take the Seahawks.
All right. What I expect to be the highest scoring game of the week, Arizona at the Rams, 2 offenses that are firing on all cylinders right now. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Chase Edmonds, James Conner, AJ Green, even Rondale Moore. There's just so many weapons for that offense to be able to work around. And I'm interested to see what they do against a really good defense in the Rams, who did great against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And on the flip side, Stafford, Cooper Cup,
Oh my gosh, that connection!
incredible.
I feel like just the two of them could go out with a few linemen and they would score.
Yeah,
I mean, their connection right now is insane. They're just like it looks like they've been playing together for 5 years.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean Stafford. I mean Goff was decent in that system. Stafford's making Goff look really bad in that system.
I feel really bad for Robert Woods.
Yeah,
it's like Robert Woods has been a great receiver for years and years, and Stafford's like, "Oh, you're good and all. I just don't need you. I'll just throw it to Cup and Higbee all day long." And he's doing so well at. I mean, Stafford looks like an MVP candidate right now, and Cup is probably running up in second place.
Yeah,
I'm sure he will.
Eventually, but
when they start
just looking so good.
Yeah, when they start scheming to stop Cup, I'm sure Woods will be open more. But yeah, I mean, Stafford's just able to hit these high percentage throws to Cup on these like crossers and slant routes, and it's just working out so well. So
Agreed.
And Deshaun Jackson too. They threw like deep passes to him like 4 times, and probably should have hit him 4 times, but only got him the once. But at home, now the home field advantage is not huge for the Rams. I'm actually going to take Arizona to cover this. I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm not surprised if the Rams win by more than 4.5. But it's a little big for me. I would have expected more like a 2-point spread because you don't really have much of a home field advantage in LA. So I'm going to take Arizona in this one.
I mean, they were didn't they play in Los Angeles this past week? Yeah, they did because LeBron was there. But I mean, it was pretty noisy there. But so I'm gonna pick the Rams not because of the noise, but
I guess that is different. That is different now than in years past with that new SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, I do like the Rams a little bit. I like their defense a little bit more. Coming off,
I like their defense a lot more than the Cardinals.
And Arizona's 3-0, but the Rams are what 3-0 as well.
Yeah, they're all both 3-0 teams.
With 3-0 teams, I like picking the home team. So
this is probably the game of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh no, it's not. Who are we kidding? I mean, as far as talent goes and 2 best teams, yes, probably. But Tampa Bay and New England is the biggest story for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would the return of
the GOAT. It's honestly, I don't even like thinking about it. It just makes me sad every time I think about it. Like we don't resign Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, and they're just going to go win another Super Bowl this year. And I'm just like, this could have been us. We could have been going for 8. Oh well. Pittsburgh at Green Bay. Not a game I'm very excited about. I think Green Bay is going to run all over this team. I think I take the Packers here. I think that the Packers are a top 10 team, and I think Pittsburgh's a bottom 10. So at home, I don't know why it's even 6.5. I think this should be like a 10-point spread. Big Ben looks awful. He looks so bad.
One of the most disappointing teams in the league,
and their defense is still beat up.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with the Packers as well. Just because I picked the Steelers last week to bounce back, and they looked even worse. So
bad. Baltimore at Denver. Denver's favored by a point. I don't like this one. I think this is an easy Ravens pick for me. Now, I know the Ravens almost lost to the freaking Lions.
And, this is one of those ones that scares me because it's like, it seems like the obvious pick, right? But then
this could be a trap game.
The trap game. That's what always seems like. I mean, my gut still tells me the Ravens. So I think I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. But something doesn't seem right about this game. This is one of those games I probably wouldn't touch.
Yeah.
Because it looks too good to be true.
You know what? See, but all the Ravens have to do is win. And I think that they're just a better team. You know what I mean?
The Broncos defense have looked good, but they also, kind of what we said earlier. I mean, now you have to win all 3 games to be a 3-0, but at the same time, they haven't had
they haven't played anyone.
They played the Jets and the Jaguars in 2 out of your 3 games.
And who's the other one? Houston?
I can't remember what the third.
I think it was Houston.
No, it wasn't Houston. But it was a team that's just disappointing as well. Let's see. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, if it was in Baltimore, 100% I'm taking Baltimore to win by probably 5 or 6 points. And I don't think just because it's in Denver.
The Giants. They played the Giants.
Giants, I'm taking
Jaguars,
Baltimore.
Jets.
I'd rather be wrong on this because I was surprised that Denver played a great game than me taking an underdog who's going to get beat by 10 points.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Ravens. All right, Tampa Bay at New England. I'm probably going to bet a bunch on this just because it's going to be so much fun, like prop bets and stuff. But as far as a spread goes, like New England has not looked good. They beat the Jets when Zach Wilson threw 4 picks, but they got beat handily by the Saints and lost to Miami. Like I get that Bill is going to bring his A game for this game. And that he does not want to be embarrassed. Like he's going to do everything he can to make it close. I honestly think that they're going to really limit Mac Jones to try to not let him throw any picks or anything, because if they let the Bucs get ahead early, it's going to be embarrassing. Tom Brady's going to come out trying to play an MVP game, and Tom Brady is pissed after this last week.
How has the New England's offensive line looked through 3 weeks?
It's been bad, and which is frustrating because
scares me.
They were expected to be one of the best offensive lines in football. Mm-hmm. But Mac Jones is getting pressured a lot. He's handling the pressure really well. I mean, he threw his first 2 picks this week, or actually threw 3. But one of them he was getting sacked. Another was a tipped pass, and the third bounced off a receiver's hands, I believe. So they weren't really his fault. I mean, partially, of course, everything you do as a quarterback is your fault. I think Mac Jones is looking like one of the better rookies that were drafted. However, does he live up to this moment? I mean, I listen to a lot of New England football sports media, and it's all anyone's been talking about all year. I mean, they try to recap other games and they go straight into talking about this game. They just can't help themselves. And I don't know if Mac can live up to this moment. I mean, I know he's lived in pressure moments before.
It's a
I don't
big
think
moment for a rookie QB.
it is going against the
return.
GOAT in his return to your fan base, the guy that you're replacing. I love the story. If he goes and beats him, it'd be awesome. It'd be a great story. I just don't see it. And I don't really see it being close because I think the Buccaneers are better in every facet of the game. I don't think we can keep up with them offensively. So I think the 6.5 is more of a narrative line of Bill keeping it close. I don't think Bill can do that all by himself. So I'm taking the Bucs.
I might be wrong here, but I believe in Brett Favre's return to Green Bay, he put up like 5 or 6 touchdowns. We might see something like that with Tom this Saturday.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see. I mean, I know that probably no one knows how to beat Tom better than Bill, but I don't think that we have the tools to do it. So
and I don't know if anyone knows Belichick more than Tom either. So
I know it's going to be interesting.
So,
it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch this game.
I'll take the Bucs,
and I'm going to be at a escape room for my sister-in-law's birthday. So
my gosh.
Yeah.
Escape from that escape room as fast as possible.
I'll be just sitting on my phone like, oh no, I can't solve the puzzle.
I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah.
No, but
is that Sunday night? I might be done with it by then, actually.
I'd like to see the prop bet on how many times Brady is said on the broadcast. Brady and Belichick.
Yeah, Brady versus Bill.
There's going to be some. I would say that there's going to be some crazy prop bets for that game.
For sure. All right, who do you got though?
I'm taking the Bucs, 100%. Okay. Yeah.
All right, and finally, Las Vegas at Los Angeles Chargers. Vegas is 3-0 somehow, and they beat the Chargers.
Vegas
they beat the Ravens.
3-0.
It's crazy. Derek Carr.
They didn't play the Chargers yet.
I'm sorry. They beat.
They beat the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, the Ravens, and then last week they beat the who did they beat last week?
Well, they played the Dolphins week 3. Week 2, they beat the Steelers.
Oh, Steelers, and then the Ravens week 1, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
So
3-0. Chargers, Justin Herbert's looking great. I think this is a week where we see a difference between Justin Herbert and Derek Carr. I think Chargers cover this 3.5 point spread at home.
I think this is actually a sneaky good game here.
Yeah, me too. But I don't know.
On the road,
I'm feeling hot.
Chargers minus 3.5 means Vegas getting. I think the Chargers might win this game, but I'm going to take the Raiders in the points. I like that. That half point. That half point hook. I like that. So
I was very heavy favorite today, but we'll see what happens. This has been Week 4 prediction for the picks against the NFL spread for Swing My Podcast. Be sure to like, comment your picks, and also subscribe so you can see more future content. The full episode will be coming out a little later, or maybe it's already released. So long.